Welcome back to Softcore History. I'm your host for the week, Dan Regester. Joined as always by Rob Fox.
What's going on?
And late night, calling him out of the bullpen, Scott Lopez.
Hey, it's good to be here again, guys.
You were at the studio.
I literally just showed up, and we're doing this.
We had to cancel on a guest because Biden had to resign.
Yep. So the people who own the studio had to do an emergency.
People that pay us
had to do an emergency show.
bumped us.
We got bumped.
And I just happened to sit here. And,
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, you want
we need
to
a
hop
third.
on? And I said, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
It's like my wife and my wife's bull when they get bored and they pop out in the living room. They're like, we need a third. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm here, I guess. Like, I know you're the only one here. And, yeah.
Like, I don't really know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
I'm not really dialed in.
I don't tend to be necessary in the end.
Well, how often are you needed? Every time? Every other time?
It just happened once. It was a bad example, to be honest.
It's the anomaly.
Mm-hmm. It was fun, though.
Well, Scott, I didn't write this episode for you, but I'm glad you're here.
No, thanks, man. That makes me feel really good. Hey, this isn't meant for you, but you're here, so we're going to see
It's
what
a weird
happens.
enough topic that it really fits anyone. I didn't really want to get serious today.
Do we ever?
Kind of wanted to get wacky, get back to our roots.
Everyone knows me. I'm a big wacky boy.
I went real serious with my topic for the Patreon on
Patreon.com/softcore history.
Yeah. Oh, it's solemn, somber. It's not at all. It's about a lady. It's about a gang of ladies. A lady gang.
That's not good. Were they successful?
Yeah, they're mean bitches.
What?
Oh yeah.
Cutting throats.
Yeah, I mostly did it because it takes place in London and like Victorian era, so I could just do my I didn't flag him an impression. I don't have it yet right now, but that's
I'll
what
have to tune in because I still don't believe this is real.
Okay. Check it out. Patreon.com/softcore history. We already told you about that.
Well, today we're going to talk about a spectacle and a sport in the 1800s. The date was September 21st, 1879.
This is, we've said this before on the show, I think, but I think my favorite time in history is the Victorian era because that's just when everything is that's at its most insane.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
You think things are nuts now?
I think modern times, that was its toddlerhood. And if you've ever seen a toddler, they understand things, but they will shove their whole fucking hand into a working garbage disposal into a fucking whirring fucking on garbage disposal. They will get it mangled because they'll be like, what is that? That is society in the Gilded Age. Just being like, what is this to everything?
Well, I've never been around a toddler. I don't think I'm allowed to either, to be honest with
Like
you.
100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's even a normal thing for me to be around one.
It's not legal for you to look like that and be near a toddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I accept that. And now toddlers fear me, as they should.
And if you're listening to this and you want to see what he looks like, go to Softcore History on YouTube.
Dude, I look fucking retarded.
You said you've had that hat for 8 years.
I've had this hat for 8 years. The trick is just to cut the straw lining around the side of it and just see what happens.
He's lying. He's been growing the whole time. The hat stayed the same size.
Yeah, when I had this hat, I didn't have hair, so it actually fit me. And now it just sits on top and looks ridiculous.
You look like a Mexican City scarecrow.
All right, I don't like that. I don't like that one. Dude, I'm only bronze because it's the summer. I look pretty. I look like you, whiteness in the winter.
I mean, you look like, honestly, what you look like is you just got in a fight at a NASCAR event and someone fucked up your hat real bad.
That is true. I did show the guys earlier that I do have a legitimate a crop top tan line.
Love that.
It is pretty sweet.
I love that.
Yeah.
You look like you lost your stick and bandana in the Great Dust Bowl.
Those have a name.
Yeah, in the Dust Bowl.
Bindle.
The bindle, the hobo
God
bindle.
damn it. I always forget the bindle. The bandana on a stick.
didn't
Which
know-
I
Just
always,
all your worldly possessions.
even as a child, I was like, but that's so little. Surely that can fit in his pocket.
Did you never run away with a bindle before?
No! Did
What?
you?
Yes.
A bindle?
Yes. Who hasn't?
Everyone!
I went to my neighbor's house immediately. But
Just take a backpack.
I
You
ran
ran a backpack?
no.
What?
You
I'm Mexican and poor.
think he's affording a backpack in
Did you-
Anaheim?
Did you take your go to school with a bindle? Were you showing up?
No,
to
I was
third
that
grade?
kid that had a binder in school, just like the little white binder thing.
You jammed everything in your binder?
What else do you need?
I mean, I had a backpack from kindergarten on. A backpack.
No, I had like a cool white binder with like stickers on it and stuff with like pieces of paper in it. And then if I got like homework, without the hole punches, you just like hole punch it yourself with the binder.
Oh boy, Texas education system. You're from Texas, right?
No, he's from California.
Oh, that's right. Oh boy, the California education system. Oof.
Again, Anaheim.
Yeah,
17th worst.
Represent.
I went to the 17th worst high school in California, and there was
That's pretty sick.
And there was 4 high schools in my city.
But I will not say you're from Anaheim. I will only say you're from the OC.
I like that. I don't even like saying I'm from there, dude. I'm a Texan. I've been here for a long time.
I don't know. I like saying I like saying you're from the OC. That's where you're from to me.
That sounds like I should have a TV show, like called the OC or something.
Yeah. Well, you'd be like one of Ryan's like skeezy friends from back in Chino, inland.
With my bindle.
Yeah, with your bindle.
Just walking 24/7.
Come on, man. It's Saturday night in inland at Los Angeles. We got to do what we always do, break into cars. That's what we do here.
Got a bindle full of like drugs and booze.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the OC tonight.
You kind of almost look like a specialist in a Wild West gang. Like you're in charge of the dynamite that derails the train.
I like that. I have experience with dynamite.
But you're very expendable.
No.
Like you're gone within the first 15 minutes.
No, I think he's...
Well, if it's like a series, I make it to episode 2.
You're a desperado.
I don't know what that means. I don't speak Spanish.
It's okay. You're
You
an
guys
outlaw.
know this.
It means desperate hoe.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It kind of checks out.
Yeah.
No, I'm still making it to episode 2. If it's a series, if it's a movie, 20 minutes.
Fair enough.
Back to New York City, September 21st, 1879. 10,000 spectators gathered at the relatively new Madison Square Garden. Had no idea MSG was this old.
Well, back then it was a garden.
On an early Sunday morning at 1 a.m. local time, the athletes were international superstars, and no expense was spared when it came to keeping them at peak performance. They rolled in with an entire entourage of doctors, dietitians, trainers, private chefs, and masseuses.
I feel like you're about 2 seconds away from talking about how the first ever sporting event at Madison Square Garden was a dogfight.
I was going more towards chariots.
That's not the left turn.
Okay. I know there's gotta
It's
be a
not
left turn.
Pokemon fights, no.
Okay.
Corporate sponsors were sprinkled all over. Any serious New York reporter was in attendance. Thousands of wagers were taken on site, and a prize of $25,000 and a solid silver championship belt awaited the victor.
You get a belt?
You get a solid silver belt.
Damn, that's cool.
This was no basketball game, soccer match, or fight. The city and world was in pandemonium over a much more physically intensive activity.
Please tell me.
Walking.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Is this a speed walking race, basically?
The sport was pedestrianism,
Let's go.
and the fans came to see their favorite jocks walk in circles over and over and over again.
What else do you got to do at that time?
In a race that would span over 6 days.
Oh, I love that. So it's like a cricket match. Like, it will end when God decides.
This is the Iditarod before the Iditarod. This is insane.
The rules were incredibly simple. Each contestant would jog, walk, mosey, or crawl
What?
as
Are they like
far
horses?
as they could.
Mosey.
Are there horses? Like canter, lope.
Someone just
Jog.
meandering around.
Yeah, I've told the story before on the podcast, I believe, but like in college, we used to have rehearsals for our like Greek Week skits at this one place outside of Columbia, Missouri, and like,
Rob.
on the other side of the wall was a horse arena.
They're walking for 6 days.
I know, and we would get really high, and we'd watch these horse shows that were just happening at the same time, and we would watch so long that we'd be able to tell the difference between like a lope and a canter, and we'd be like, oh, that's a shit canter. Oh, that horse isn't getting the points. So these are just humans loping and cantering. Jogging. Jog is actually a horse term as well.
Mhm. They were permitted to eat, drink, and sleep in tents on the side of the track.
Boo. Did they have a pit crew? Just like put them to sleep? Like
They
I
had
need to
an
sleep for
entire team, yeah.
I need to sleep for 6 hours. Someone just punches them unconscious for.
But the minute they left the oval-shaped venue, they were forced to withdraw. So they had to stay on the track.
Oh, okay. So it was like a hand on the car. Whoever wins it. It's like when a car dealership invites 17 poor people to compete for a Kia.
Hey, I have a key.
In a mall, yeah.
Shut up. It's essentially what I
Yeah,
did.
this is how you win a car in a mall.
How long can you debase yourself in public for $16,000?
Yeah, it's never a lot.
It's not.
But back then, $25,000.
It's over $1 million. It's over $1 million back
That's
then.
insane.
Yeah.
This, again, is right after
No.
the Civil War.
People do that now for $16,000.
Wait, this is after the Civil War. They're really good at walking.
Oh, they're great at walking.
This was the best era of Americans walking, I think.
Perhaps the last great era of American walking.
Pedestrianism started with the fair heel and toe rule, which meant your one foot could not leave the ground until the other heel had landed, preventing athletes from running.
So that
Rules were modified, and often jogging was permitted to fight off cramping.
okay, so sometimes you gotta move it a little more.
Mhm.
That was a plot point in Malcolm in the Middle when Hal was a speed walker.
We brought that up off mic.
Yeah,
I was telling him about the subject coming in, but yeah, it's the first thing I went to was
the Malcolm in the Middle
Yeah.
episode. Yeah. He analyzed the video. and
speed walking is also, I didn't know this, a real sport in the Olympics.
You didn't know that? You never seen that?
I thought it was kind of a joke.
No, man, it's hella real.
No, but you don't want to see it. That's
No.
the thing, too.
They're
There's
just
a
like-
lot of sports in the Olympics you don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible.
Like they made walking look so gay.
Yes,
There's no cool way to do that. Their hips are moving too fast. Their arms moving too shallow.
Now, too, they all kind of walk the same. It's the same stride, same technique. Back then, though, everybody had their own kind of style.
Could you use an aid, like a walker or a cane?
I don't believe so.
No, all right.
I don't think that was permitted.
I'm out.
what if you were just very long-legged and you stood on a pony and let your feet drag as the pony walked around?
That's who they're betting on the most. That long-legged fellow.
Yeah, being dragged by a pony. His feet haven't left it once.
This strange sport started as an attraction in Britain and England and a fixture at fairs, with gambling being a massive component to its popularity. Foster Powell was the first real pioneer of endurance walking. In 1773, he walked 400 miles from London to York. In 1778, Powell walked 100 miles in little over 21 hours. The press followed these bizarre feats and labeled the act of this long-distance hobby pedestrianism.
This is when life got too specialized. You know what I mean? This is what the Industrial Revolution has really wrought upon humanity. Asinine hobbies.
What if you're the parent that specializes their kid in speed walking?
Someone did it. Like, what? I mean, there's speed walking in the Olympics. Like, truly, like, you have to master that.
But they're not allowing their kid to play anything. Football, basketball.
Just
No, you're a
speed walking
speed
only.
walker.
Yeah.
Finn, you're a speed walker.
Maybe that's the way to go.
Smaller pool of competition.
Almost none, what some would say.
Are there scholarship opportunities for walking?
There are not.
Ah, shit. I was
That's
gonna
but
say,
it's like it's really though.
maybe by the time.
But speed walking, it's like tennis or gymnastics. Like if you're good at it, you don't go to college.
You do it for the glory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah,
And back then, the fame.
And the money.
the ass
And
probably too.
So much money in this. This is before there were real sports. This is 1879, before the invention of basketball.
I believe long before the invention.
Was
20 years before the invention.
20 years.
And
or
even-
like actually 15, because
and-
basketball was like 1890, I think.
Yeah, it was in the early to mid, and then
90s.
baseball in 1870. What? Did you say? 3?
So baseball was invented by a Civil War like captain.
No, that's bullshit. It was invented before that.
That was all bullshit.
Yeah, it's Abner Doubleday. It's all bullshit. But that was just like a neat story they could do. They were playing baseball. There's pictures of people playing baseball.
Well,
in
there was
Fort
like
Sumter.
cricket and British baseball.
Yeah, it was like there's reports of it in the 1830s. But what I was
Why
gonna
can't we claim a Civil War captain invented it?
you can? It's just bullshit.
Like American baseball. He didn't modernize the game.
No, not at all. Like he didn't do anything. They just picked him out of a fucking hat, basically.
Did he play baseball?
Yeah, he did. He played it with his troops and shit like that.
Then I'm giving him credit.
That's fine. But what I was gonna say though, I think baseball at this time had not even fully finalized its strike and ball rules in terms of how many for each. That's how early we are in the era of sports. The first college football national champion had only been crowned 4 years before this?
It was 1869.
If Rutgers.
Right, Rutgers?
Yeah. So what year is it? 73?
79.
This is 79.
Okay, so
but
10 years.
now we're kind of going through the original start of the sport, which was 1773
Oh, God.
in England.
That's why we revolted.
Mm-hmm. Captain Robert Barclay Allardyce had 10,000 people follow along as he walked 1 mile for 1,000 hours in July of 1809.
What?
He tried to walk 1 mile for 1,000 hours. So, like, he would sleep and stuff, so he would make up time.
Okay.
So he'd walk like 4 or 5 miles, but he just wanted to be consistent and hit 1 mile for 1,000 hours,
Okay.
which he did.
Good.
George Wilson attempted to do 1,000 miles in 480 hours in 1815, but was arrested for disturbing the peace 3/4 of the way with the crowds that gathered to watch.
No.
People just like I'm wearing this hat kind of with the beard to give off
Gump.
a Gump vibe.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened with these people.
They were
They
forced.
just had crowds of people follow them.
I just kept running. And then
I imagine Forrest Gump, that scene is just based off.
honestly,
pedestrianism.
fucking probably.
It's just kind of like a neat
Yeah.
little kind of Easter egg for you.
I got to the end of town. Then I got to the end of the county.
Englishmen and Englishwomen who would do 100 miles in 24 hours tried to earn the title of centurion.
Okay.
Oh God, fastest walker in a day.
Again, this is what happens.
That's gross.
This is what happens when society gets too specialized. No one knows how to do anything anymore. You want to walk 100 miles for some reason in like a weird way.
The intensive hobby became organized and competitive and grew into a more digestible race format. It didn't really captivate the U.S. until around the Civil War, and it all began with the unlikeliest of heroes.
Abner Doubleday.
No.
Oh, okay.
In 1859, New York Herald copyboy Edward Payson Weston chased down a wagon across the city after missing a scheduled delivery of flowers for his boss's wife.
And he sped walked
So
to
he
it.
walked to
He
this
was like, he
carriage.
didn't feel like running after it. He was just like, fuck, the wagon's getting away.
Excuse me, waving a finger up in the air.
Wagon's going
That's why
like,
it took him all day.
yeah, wagon's going like 30 miles an hour. All he had to do was run once for 30 seconds at the
Yeah.
beginning.
He was able to hunt down the wagon and get the flowers around West 70th Street.
I disagree that he was able to hunt down the wagon.
Was there traffic?
Yeah.
How does it work back then?
I don't think he did anything.
And he was rewarded with the applause of his coworkers upon return and double the pay for his efforts, even though he kind of fucked up not being there for the delivery.
He wasn't there for the delivery. It took him probably 3 times as long to track down that wagon as it should have.
He's doing it on company time.
Yeah. He should be fired. What?
He's not doing his gig.
Double, dude.
Did he get back there and he was like, "Gentlemen, you won't believe it. By the mere act of walking quickly, I tracked down a wagon over the course of 9 hours."
And was this flower or like flowers? Like a bouquet of flowers?
Flowers for his boss's wife.
Oh my God.
Well, okay.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I did have to do that when I first started working at Drinking Bros for Chuck Liddell.
That's right.
We had to get
It didn't save his marriage, though.
It did not. No.
Oh, no.
No, boy. She domestically abused him later. But
Yeah, not the other way around.
Yep.
She hit him.
yeah.
Not
And
the right color of flowers, dude.
I know, but they were supposed to get flowers delivered to the studio so he could take them to her because he was going to do a show and didn't have time to get it. And the FedEx asshole just like showed up. They told me he was going to get there later in the day. Shows up before any of us are there. Leaves a note. Bring it back tomorrow. It's fucking flowers. And I'm like, I call FedEx. I'm like, you need to come back. You need to come back. I honestly, I don't even know if this is a lie because I had not worked there that long, but I told it anyway, thinking it was a lie. I was like, if you don't bring those flowers back, it is for an important client. I will get fired. And they were like, sorry. So I had to walk down the truck. I walked after the truck for 10 hours.
So you're just like Weston.
Yeah, exactly. Left for the day. No, I told him, I was like, I'm going to get fucking fired if you don't bring these flowers back. And they're like, okay, we'll do our best. And the guy came back like right after Chuck got to the studio.
Damn.
Yeah. All of that drama for a dying marriage.
Also, I didn't even know you can order flowers on FedEx.
Yeah, apparently.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, what do you mean you're going to bring them tomorrow? They're flowers, you asshole.
They
They're
need
just
water
wilted.
ASAP,
Yeah,
dude.
just leave them there at least. No one's going to.
It would have symbolized their marriage, though.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
The next year, Weston made a bet with his colleague about the 1860 election. The loser would have to walk to Washington, D.C. to see the inauguration. Weston faded Lincoln and put his faith in John Breckinridge.
Oh. Not good walking roads back then either. There ain't no interstate.
He would pay off his debts, making the 10-day trek down to D.C.
What?
The paper tracked his voyage down through the elements of rain, mud, and snow, and he was rewarded for his efforts with newfound fame and a handshake from the new president upon arrival. Lincoln gave him a stiff shake.
Where do you walk from?
New York,
New York to D.C. That took 10 days.
10 days.
Is
It's
that
raining
fast
and
or
snowing.
slow? I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
done it.
But also mud and snow. Dude, at what point you're like, fucking why? You
I
bet your homie. Like, how many of us have like bet $3 to a friend and just never paid him? And this dude walks 10
Oh,
days.
I always
know.
pay my debts.
Oh, you're a Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me see how far the walk would be today.
What do you mean today?
With interstates and stuff.
Yeah, I know that, but he's walking.
Allegedly, actually, so 10 days makes sense. If you walked today, it'd be
Just how many miles is it?
well, it'd take 3 days. It's 258 miles.
So 258 miles in 10 days. And he walked.
258 miles in 10 days. 25 miles a day, bitch.
If you think about it, you're going at a 15-minute pace if you're not actually, racing.
Yeah,
It's 4 miles an hour.
you could do better than that. He's weak.
But what
And
shoe-
honestly,
what shoes did he have on?
Yeah, the roads between, if there were any good roads, it was between New York and it was on the East Coast in the United States at that time, certainly. Like as far as decent roads go.
With the attention he received, it inspired Weston to embrace walking and accomplish larger feats and bring the sport to the mainstream in the U.S. consciousness.
Sure, sport.
Dude,
sure.
this is how pickleball started, man.
This is how walking is.
This is terrible.
is pickleball.
I don't know. This seems more entertaining than watching pickleball on
Oh,
TV.
watching pickleball is.
But you don't play it?
No, I've never.
You look like a guy that would
I've
play
never
it.
done it. That's offensive.
That is maybe the most offensive
I
thing
might
ever said on this
throw
show.
hands with you for saying
I
that.
mean, have you played disc golf?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so pickleball, disc golf.
They're not one and the same.
They are
No, they're not.
very white.
Very fake. They're fake.
I'm
sports.
not going to defend disc golf either.
Yeah,
I
nor
just got
should you.
high and I hung out with my friend before he left for Wisconsin. He was a disc golf influencer.
Well, that shouldn't be a thing.
Is or was? He just posted a story the other day.
Yeah, he is. Jared Borslow.
Yeah,
He's an
just-
F1 guy and a disc golf guy. Two
Oh.
weird things to get
just
into.
weird sports to enjoy.
In 1867, Weston walked from Portland, Maine to Chicago, covering 1,200 miles in 26 days.
Well, that's impressive.
And I guess he just received a prize of $10,000.
Just someone was like, "Wow, god damn, dude, here's $10,000."
No, it's because people gambled on this shit. So
Hell yeah.
a lot of the bookies were taking action, and I think you get a cut of that.
Okay, that makes sense. You should get a cut of it if the only reason anyone's gambling at all is because you're doing something.
and
I
you
agree.
have to
know
make
what
it
I
to a
mean?
destination.
Yeah, like why shouldn't just for example on a fight, like this is not a real boxer really, but like Jake Paul, right? Why shouldn't he get a cut of everything that's being gambled on him? It wouldn't even be happening if it wasn't for him. Why shouldn't a football game, why shouldn't the NFL get a cut of the money gambled on the thing they're putting on?
The sanctity of the sport.
It's over now.
Yeah, it's corrupt. at
It's
this
all
point.
gone now.
ESPN has their own gambling app, and they control the college football playoff. So
Yeah, it's all. It's all over. Yeah, like for example, if ESPN's having a bad year financially, and a real long odd team that
you're going to see a Georgia loss, is what he's saying.
No. I think you're going to see a long odd. That makes it less likely that just say like UCF, right? They don't want to lose money on a hot UCF team getting in that maybe a lot of people bet on, but it was longer odds. Like I don't know, call it 500 to 1.
No, you're going to
50
see a
one.
lot of like favorites that are in parlays, just like suddenly, oh, Vanderbilt just took out Alabama.
Oh, weird.
Weird.
I went to Vandy. It was great.
It was not great. I was there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got waterboarded there.
You did.
By alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
only makes sense when you look at me.
Tailgate scene was not great.
No, it was
fucking was Vandy.
It was
What?
one of the worst I've been to. And I've been to a lot.
Easily the worst college football experience I've been to. It was mostly Georgia fans.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah.
Now, was Vandy worse than Baylor?
Oh, the Baylor tailgating's better.
Yeah.
But I could buy booze in Vandy, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
And like the crowd interaction there, like walking around, like all like the Tennessee like MILFs were just hitting me up left and right. So that was fun. Baylor, it's just terrible.
And it was
all
a
around.
Baylor BYU game. So
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So the whole
we
like,
don't have to say more. I think that kind of sets
yeah, but the whole
tone.
like last row thing where my tickets was a Baylor family of like 6 kids, and I swear to God, 3 of them had helmets on, like the not like football helmets, but like
The head-shaping
actual
helmets.
helmets. And I
Wait, how old were they? Because my kid, when he
yeah,
was
your child still
one,
wears a helmet.
had
yeah.
a skull shaper.
no, I don't
His kids
think-
are deformed.
I don't think these were those.
These were
They were just wearing like just white. Like,
don't fall,
helmet.
sweetie.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
couldn't do last row next to these kids.
Oh boy.
So that's why if you see that
So,
video, it's
You
me
have to
like
turn the bit down.
walking
I,
around. Yeah.
when I went to a Mizzou BYU women's NCAA tournament game here in Austin because it was hosted here or
You
whatever.
don't have to admit that.
And it was fun. I don't care. I had a great time. I got real drunk, went to the game, and I was like, rah, 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 let's go. And then I sat down in my seats, and I was drunk, and I was like, let's go away my seat. Rah. And then fucking immediately right in front of me, I don't know why I didn't move because it's not like it was sold out. Immediately right in front of me, a Mormon dad sits down with his 2 young children. I assume he was a BYU alum.
One had Down syndrome.
No, they were fine. The kids were Mormon, I guess, but otherwise fine. And like I'm just sitting behind them, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be such an asshole, but I was still just like breathing alcohol onto them. I was drunk, and they was just like 3 like milk chugging Mormons sitting in front of me,
Yep.
being like, "Yay!" But I would still cheer, and we got drunker as the game went on, and would just be like, "I'm going with you!" And I'm like, I'm sorry.
So as Weston walked to Chicago, he received several death threats and confrontations from people who gambled against him, and was even attacked once in the process.
Did it say like
Love
how
that.
or like was he almost stabbed? Do we know the details on the attack?
On the attack, I think just fists were thrown.
But dude, when you're walking for that was like halfway
You're a
through
little
maybe.
gassed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Can I give you a way that I think the Kentucky Derby could be improved?
If you could fight the horse.
Close. So you pick out what are there like 10 horses in it? Let's just say 10 horses. You pick out 10 bettors from the crowd at random, and you give them weaponry from the time of the first Kentucky Derby, and they are allowed to shoot at any horse. They wouldn't shoot at theirs, obviously, so they're allowed to shoot at other horses from a certain distance as the race is going to hobble them and help their horse win.
Dude, I thought you were gonna go where like hockey rules where they have a goon horse.
Oh,
And the goon's job is to fuck up
Yeah.
other people. That'd be cool.
I mean, if
The
you
goon
were a-
horse has spikes on the side.
dude, there are times though, like legitimately, I think there's been times when there's been a trainer with more than one horse in the race, and presumably one horse has a better shot than the other.
One's a stud, one's not.
So like,
The other horse takes
there's
his-
probably been a history of goon horses in the race before, where it's like your job is to box out,
Mhm.
Like
in F1 where they have teammates.
Yeah, it's literally kind of, yeah.
Like, is your name Max Verstappen?
Oh,
You don't get to win.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Is it not?
the Verstappen?
I don't watch F1 because of that.
I
Same
just-
guy wins
I
every
can't
time.
get into that.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
I can't.
I honestly like NASCAR more, and that's not just by going off of looks.
Yeah. I motorsports are hard for me in general. I don't care. I just don't care.
This man became known as Weston the Pedestrian,
Oh, damn.
and his superstar grew around the nation as he would compete in both indoor multiple-day races and long-distance endurance countryside journeys.
It's just hilarious to me that somewhere in Chicago, probably some chick got drilled.
by Weston
By
the
a dude who
pedestrian.
walked from New York.
Like some chick gave herself up for a fucking power walker.
She was woed.
Dude, he lost a bet and
Woed
became
by
a
Weston.
fucking celebrity.
Yeah. Yeah, he became a lawyer by losing a bet.
Ever the showman, Weston would often play the trumpet as he went with his walks, dressed in a cape.
Wait, on his walks, I guess he was doing the real walks?
Sometimes he would play the trumpet.
I would, you know what, though? Like, honestly, like, I want to say that that's, like, a sign that it isn't a real sport, but, like, baseball players are straight up, like, ODing on nicotine back in the day on the field, just, like, Lenny Dykstra, a fucking baseball-sized thing of chew in his fucking cheek.
You can OD on nicotine?
I mean, they're just doing so much of it.
Well, yeah, that's
know what I mean?
cool.
They're just like, I mean, it's just like a whole fucking side of their. I mean, you literally how old were you? Were actually maybe too young to remember them, but those '93 Phillies,
Yeah, I was like 1.5, 2.
the carpet at the vet because it was played on AstroTurf back then.
I went to Phillies camp one year, and I went to the vet, and I played baseball at the vet
on the carpet.
on the concrete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing had
It
had
fucking
to just be
sucked.
soaked through with dip spit and chewing tobacco spit.
That's gnarly. I say that as someone who, like, my previous front porch had, like, a permanent dip stain from, like, spit. Just, like, there was, like, a cool little, like, 6-inch diameter little circumference.
You look like you
of-
were on the '93 Phillies.
Yeah, thank you.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm not even. Just look up the '93 Phillies. You look like John Kruk or Lenny Dyke.
You're a
any of them.
bullpen catcher for that team.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
They were awesome. They were like American as fuck.
I don't know what a bullpen catcher is.
It's the most American team.
like a
and
practice
we lost
catcher.
to Canada.
Oh, cool. What?
Yeah, we lost to the fucking Blue Jays. Walk
Oh,
off.
this is a pro
Both of our
team.
teams gave Canada World Series championships. Our
That's
great,
gross.
our great shame.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Like, wrap up the franchise if that happens.
it's horrifying to let happen.
Weston was renowned for his wobble and was sometimes referred to as Willie the Wobbler.
He couldn't even walk right?
Well,
What the
none of them
fuck?
can, right? They all have to keep one foot on at all times.
I guess-
It's a
yeah.
goofy looking walk.
Yeah, he started it.
In 1874, he became the first man to walk 500 miles in 6 days during an indoor race in Newark, New Jersey.
Sure, great job. Like the first man to do nothing. Like what?
No, he was the first man to walk 500 miles in 6 days.
I get that, but
It just so happened to be in Newark, New Jersey. It wasn't like the first guy to do it in Newark, New
no,
Jersey.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't care. It's not an accomplishment I give a shit about. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the first man to eat a cheeseburger from 9 different restaurants in one afternoon. No one cares that you did that. It's not a thing.
That's like Joey Chestnut's whole career.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like I've eaten at the most 5 guys of anyone in the United. Like, no one cares.
Okay, well, I do care about the elderly couple who's eaten at 79 Cracker Barrels across the country.
That's it, though?
I care about
79? I need those
Well,
numbers to get
that
pumped
stat
up.
was like years ago.
Actually,
I don't know if they died or if they completed the thing because
No,
they
it's-
tried to go to every single one of them.
they had dementia. They just kept going to the same one.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our buddy Jay Arnold tries to hit up all the best like Texas barbecue spots that are ranked yearly.
That's fine.
That's like 5
That's more
places.
like a pilgrimage, right?
and he's
Like,
doing it for content. He's doing it for work.
this guy.
He's writing about
But
it.
he's not walking there; he's driving.
He's also
He's
not
driving.
acting like it's an accomplishment.
No, it's more of just a goal.
Yeah. This guy's like, I did it. I did it. I've done what no one's done before.
Well, he's also winning money. He's going on tour in Europe
He's wearing a cape. He's killing it.
and challenging
Fair.
European champions. In 1876, Weston went head-to-head with an English race-walking champion in a 24-hour, 115-mile race. Weston smoked the motherfucker.
Good. I mean, for America, and like there's 2 things I will do. Like for the United States, and for Mizzou, my alma mater, I will root for anything. Anything. Like, it does not matter what it is. I will get fucked up and scream for it if it's for the country or for the school I went to. So for that, I am like, all right, hell yeah. It doesn't even matter how stupid it is. Like, it's like the Olympics. All the sports are stupid, but I'm going hard for it.
The Englishman actually dropped out after 14 hours.
Bitch.
What a
Boot.
loser!
Our guy did it. completed it super easy. But there was a little controversy.
Okay.
Weston admitted to chewing coca leaves throughout the event.
He was doing cocaine.
Whoa!
He was doing coke the whole time.
This guy's getting better and better now.
All right, I'm all in. Everything I said was a lie.
I was going to say something earlier when you talked about the chewing tobacco. I'm like, no, he chews cocaine.
Yeah. Which, by the way, for
Fuck, that's cool,
that's
dude.
awesome. For those who don't know, way back in the day when the Spanish first came to the Americas and just started enslaving motherfuckers left and right, natives, they were like, yeah, when we were baton death marching them to the gold mines that we're not going to make it out of, we noticed that some of them, when they got tired, they would just grab leaves off these plants off the side of the path and start chewing them, and they'd get up and be good to go again. And we tried it, and it was awesome. But like, so slaves, Indian slaves of the Spaniards, when they came here, would do that when they were getting death marched to whatever, silver mine or gold mine they were going to go die in for the Spanish. They would be like, I mean, obviously, if I'm going to drop dead if I don't do this cocaine right now.
I'd prefer to be hopped up on cocaine if I was going to die anyways.
Can you imagine, though? You're just like, hey, guys, we gotta kill these conquistadors that are enslaving us. And like, okay, but we got to wait until we pass by a cocaine plant. And then we'll all take the leaves and do it. I can't do it now. I'm so fucking tired. Let's wait for the cocaine plant.
I would absolutely love to do that, and I wish I thought of that sooner.
What, cocaine plant?
Yeah, because I once walked 26 miles, and I wish I had cocaine leaves in my mouth.
You walked a marathon?
Is that how far that is?
26.2, baby.
Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You walked a marathon? What did you walk a marathon for, in the military?
Oh, yeah, I was like forced to for sure.
Oh, okay,
I didn't want to do it.
Did you had to march?
Yeah.
I forgot. Wait, what? You were in the Army?
Yeah.
How much did you have to march?
We don't really call it marching. Like, as like marching, we call like when you're in a formation like 4 by like 20 and you're like you left, right, left, that whole thing.
Yeah.
This was just like hey guys, we're gonna commemorate the guys before you who walked 75 miles into combat by doing like 26 miles.
Ugh.
And we were like, what's the point if we're not doing 75 miles? Which also that sucks.
Yeah.
But if we're not doing that, we're gonna live up to the legend of those dudes who walked that far to get shot at.
Wait, what war was that from?
Korea.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the 9th Regiment. Whatever. Manchu was their name.
Okay.
9th Regiment, whatever. I was
They walked it?
Yeah, I was in 2nd Battalion, 9th Infantry. So 9th Infantry Regiment was the guys that walked 75 miles to like go fight the Chinese, wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
That's nuts, because I feel like it still happened, but a lot of marching was basically dead from World War II on. Maybe even World War I on, but definitely World War II on, because everything became like, quote, mechanized infantry. You
Yeah.
get on trucks.
Oh, dude, we were mech. Like we had Bradleys, but like I was in like a light unit. Like we didn't use the Bradleys, so we walked everywhere possible. But one of them was like 26 miles for like literally no reason.
Ugh. Yeah, it's a literal
Middle of the
marathon.
night. Like, hey guys, we're gonna do this. Okay.
Fuck that. There was in the book Band of Brothers, they talk about it, it's not in the show, but the Japanese like set some world record for marching during World War II, and the general of the 101st Airborne or whatever, I think it was the general 101st Airborne, who was like, fuck that, we can beat that. And he just like made his troops like march that same distance but faster to prove that American troops could march faster, which reading that book, I thought 2 things. 1, what a dick.
Yep.
And 2, you didn't do it in combat. They were doing it on the side of a road in Georgia.
Yeah, it doesn't like boost morale. It does nothing.
And it was just like, it's under different circumstances. Like, I was like, no offense. Like, the Japanese suck, obviously, like, fuck Imperial Japan, but like, theirs was more impressive.
Yeah.
They
was
did it
cool.
in war.
Yeah.
You did it training in America.
And you went to go sleep afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a bed.
But if there was ever a performance-enhancing drug for a sport,
Okay.
it's probably cocaine for walking.
Oh yeah.
Dude, yeah. So that's what started this whole thing. I wish I had that at the time.
I will say, actually, to his credit, chewing that cocaine, he was able to maintain the discipline to not just start fucking sprinting.
Because yeah, you would think you'd be impatient.
Yeah, if there's one thing cocaine is bad at, or one thing cocaine makes you do, is lose all inhibitions.
Yep.
And just run through whatever wall you're not supposed to run through.
But he's probably already delirious from the lack of sleep.
Yeah, he maybe
Doing
just
all
got
these
back.
stuff.
He got back to level.
Mm-hmm. Still, Weston continued his career and became an advocate for exercise well into the 1900s, saying that automobiles had made people lazy and sedentary.
One of the episodes I did a while back, I forget which one it was, but it was like things that were blamed, or things that, like, I think it was like all the times the youth were said they were lazy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big take in the 20s, especially. It was like the youth's legs were gonna like wither away and become weaker because they all drove around now instead of like walking to school and stuff like that. Like the legs of America's youth were going to atrophy because of cars.
Yeah,
Hey,
he
it
was one
makes
of those
sense.
guys.
Yeah.
He ironically and tragically would become paralyzed after being struck by a taxi cab in New York City and died shortly thereafter.
Inside job. Inside job. Really? Is
That
that
was-
what you believe,
Dude,
sheeple?
that was our first 9/11.
They took out Weston.
Not my boy.
You could tell me the guy who's anti-car got killed by a car and it wasn't suspicious?
Dude, if he had his trumpet, maybe the car would have like hurt him.
Yeah, honk your
beforehand.
horn, baby.
He didn't trumpet up that day.
Yeah.
But back to happier times for Weston in 1879 in the original MSG for the 6-day race spectacular. Racers from all over the globe graced the track. Walkers were analyzed and critiqued by writers and fans alike. Some came in battling foot injuries like George Hazel.
Tough.
Others like Charles Rowell may have overtrained and came in too thin. People were talking about how thin they were.
Well, you
Too
want to
fragile.
be light.
How are
but
you too thin back in the day when you couldn't have food?
It's true. You want to be light.
That's thin. That's like talking about, we guys talk about alcoholics back then.
Mhm.
Like, how drunk were you all the time to be called an alcoholic? How thin were you back then to be called thin?
Have you seen the funniest picture of that is like the inverse? So like this is how thin, how troublingly thin they must have looked. There's a picture that goes viral every once in a while, and it's like a fat man's club from the 1920s, and like they're fat, but they're not that fat.
Yeah, they're like a normal American nowadays on a scooter at Walmart.
Yeah,
And they were like a circus act.
yeah. Like if some fucking rascal scooter with a basket on the front of it, Walmart person,
Yeah.
rolled by them, those fat people, they'd all vomit.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, it's fat. You're kind of fat.
Boston's Frank Hart was, of course, doubted for being too black.
What does that even mean?
It's 1879.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what it meant.
It's actually like fucked up how many parallels there are to it. That sketch I wrote that should be out on our Patreon soon. That is just like things were just insane.
Things were different.
Things were insane.
It wasn't much long after the Civil War. It's 1879.
Yeah. Life was, man, I've said it before on the show. My only answer for where do you want to go back in time is the Gilded Age. It used to be all kinds of different things. Oh, I want to see Napoleon, ancient Rome. I just want to go fuck around in the guild, just see the insane shit. And orphans sucked into a textile mill machinery, like dumbass sports like this. What an alcoholic looked like.
Yep. Dude, was this black guy? Did he have like too many bets placed on him to win? That they're like, he's too black.
No, I don't think that they had the positive stereotype of being good at sports yet.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have the good pot, like, yeah.
He's one of the first major black athletes of the country, actually.
Do you know who the first was, if he's one of the first?
There was a lot of like early horse racing.
Jockeys.
Jockeys were.
So they would race the horses themselves?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like if you really go back into like the Kentucky Derby history, it's one of the more it's weird to say progressive sports.
Yeah.
That's
Racially.
actually wild.
Which, if you remember, like, if you know now, like a thing that people get called race for all the time is their lawn jockeys.
Yep.
The little jockeys they have on their yard.
Uh-huh.
It is a whole plot point in Curb
Oh, really?
where Larry buys a black jockey.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawn jockeys was just I guess at one point representational of whom was in the profession.
Or no, I'm sorry. He buys a white jockey and has to replace a black jockey that he broke, and he paints the white jockey
He
black.
blackfaces
He
it.
blackfaces the white
Oh,
jockey.
God. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. The competitors all removed their coats and shook hands, of course, other than the black man. The stardom signal sounded, and the crowd erupted and shook the very foundation of Madison Square Garden. 24 hours in, and the man that was too thin, Charles Rowell, had secured the lead. A day one bonus and a few silver trinkets for his efforts.
Yeah, he's busting his load.
36 hours in, Rowell had broken a record, and our guy Weston was being berated by angry fans who backed him for taking an 8-hour break.
Everyone knows he breaks late. Not that type of break where you take a sleep or whatever, but everyone knows he breaks late.
He slept for 8 hours, and the guys that bet on Weston were just like trying to like prod him
Throwing
awake.
tomatoes at him and shit.
Can you fucking imagine? You're like, all right, he's going to sleep. Fair enough. They're all going to sleep at some point. And then it's like hour 5, and you're like, what's going on? And then it's like hour 7, you're just pulling your fucking hair out. Like your mortgage payment.
You're
is
sabotaging
bet on.
his tent.
Like you're just, by hour 7, you're throwing firebombs at his tent.
It's like, you don't need to be well rested, man. You don't need all 8 hours.
Just chew your cocaine leaves. I thought you did cocaine.
Over the next few days, several contestants dropped out, and it was all but a formality that Rowell was going to secure the win.
Look, man, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That was until the last day of the race when Rowell's body turned on him and he started to convulse.
No.
There are few
No.
things funnier than, and I highly recommend everyone search these on YouTube, than marathon runners whose bodies just are like, nope. It's like mile 24, and the body's just like, I am done.
What about marathon runners that like shit themselves?
That was the other thing I was going to say. Is marathon runners who shit their tiny little shorts that are not able to hold those type. I mean, you're basically just like dying without dying. You're almost like physically dying. You know what I mean? Like when you die, your bowels release. Like your body's just expending so much energy in a marathon trying to keep everything else going. That's somewhere up in your brain, like it's the movie Inside Out, except it's who's running the physical part, not your emotions. They're just like, we got to cut something off. We don't have enough power for everything. And they're just like, bowels off. And then it's just,
Fuck.
dude, marathon runners
Gross.
pooping themselves is chef's kiss.
No.
I would watch that all day.
I've never seen that.
What?
I've never, I don't want to. I don't think I want to see that.
And it's not like a log. Do you know what I mean?
Is it spray?
It's like a vacay, full vacation. You know
It's
what I
all the
mean?
gel they ingest.
It is. They
Fuck.
That power gel.
they vacate. It's
Because you can't control the stoppage.
yeah.
It's
Everything
just
drops
full
out.
release.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's not a log.
Our boy, though, somehow powered through after a brief reset in his tent,
Of course, he spent his whole time in the tent.
and he hit the 530-mile mark. With plenty of miles to spare against his competition, he spent the last 2 hours of the race resting and waiting, much to the chagrin of gamblers who bet on his daily over.
Ooh,
Whoa.
yeah. The over-under better's not going to be happy. Betting on a winner, I'm
He
sure.
already smoked the competition, so Charles Rowell ended up winning the competition by a lot.
Okay.
But the people that bet on his daily over-under, not super thrilled with him sitting the last 2 hours out.
Fair enough. Yeah. I would kill him.
The fact that you would gamble on this, like, to that capacity on a day-to-day,
It's not smart.
no.
I'm
It's-
surprised.
I mean, I relate with it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
wild that there's even an over-under on days. I didn't know they had that, like, wherewithal back then to
They had prop
bet
bets, they had
on that,
everything. Dude, gambling's never changed. It's always been there to take your money.
Ever. Yeah.
The New York paper, The Sun, even went as far to say that it tarnished his victory as they believed he had more in the tank.
He definitely did. He
He
could
was
have.
convulsing earlier.
But also, like,
He
why?
was seasoned out.
But also, like, why? Even if he did, though, why? You got the dub.
Right, you're just kind of spiking the football at that point.
Like, how fast
stunted.
does Michael Phelps need to swim if everyone else in the pool drowned? You
Yeah.
know, like, just you got it.
Pedestrianism would continue as a popular sport until the invention of the safety bicycle in 1885. That is the bike with the two similar-sized wheels, not the comically large wheel in the front.
Right.
And they called it the safety bicycle?
I think it was compared to the old school
Much
bike.
safer.
The other one was like,
Then you,
yeah.
a bicycle you have to use a ladder to get on. Not great.
That's real? They had to use a ladder. I mean, I mean, I never knew how they got on those things. But
And those were invented in the early 1800s, I believe, like 1812.
How did that, like, what, you couldn't make one that was same size wheel?
I don't know.
Very bizarre.
The first guy to make it was John Kemp Starley in 1885. So the fast-paced bikes replaced the walking races with bike races.
Okay.
and we brought them back. We brought back the walking.
Well, it didn't necessarily go away altogether because, like you said, power walking, but this kind of iteration of what people get excited for with the marathons, kind of in a roundabout way, evolved into Olympic marathon format.
So the first bicycle actually was same size wheels, but it didn't get popular, and for some reason people wanted this fucking doofus machine instead.
Yeah.
Why are the handlebars like that?
I don't know.
I don't like that.
God, this is what I want to go back to. I want to see this clown show.
I also want to see those bikes race. I don't want to see normal bikes race.
I know.
I want to see an alcoholic on that.
Yes.
So yeah, I believe the first marathon Olympic race was 1896. So this kind of
Well, that was the
evolved
first
into that.
Olympics, so.
Yeah, but I mean the format of a marathon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Marathon run. The 26.2 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is the just a kind of a brief overview and kind of the main attraction, the peak of pedestrianism.
Sad. So it's still going today, though. I mean, it's
In a
speed
way.
walking now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
now I'm just going to call it pedestrianism.
It should definitely be called have stayed pedestrianism. That sounds better than speed walking.
There's
You know what I mean?
a little mystery to it.
Yeah.
Because speed walking it's literally an oxymoron. Like, it is literally counterintuitive.
Mhm.
Speed walking, going the fastest you can at a slow thing, doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah.
Did you guys learn anything today?
I learned everything today. I actually learned
life
that.
changed
Wait,
today.
did he get in trouble for the cocaine, or was he just doing it?
They kind of still gave him credit for the win, and I don't really think he faced any consequences.
Athletes should be allowed to do cocaine.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what got the Mets through the 80s. They won a goddamn World Series on cocaine.
I mean, most baseball teams got through a good portion of decades with greenies, which was meth,
Yeah,
just meth.
yeah. But the Mets were like, we're cooler than that. I'm goddamn
Darryl
Dwight Gooden and
Strawberry.
Darryl Strawberry. Yeah, and Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah.
He was on that team too, and Keith Hernandez.
I don't know if we should ever point to Lenny Dykstra as a reason to do anything.
Lenny Dykstra's problem in most of life is that he is too cool.
He loves too much.
He's too cool. He's too awesome. He's overly awesome. You can be too much of anything. He's too awesome.
Yes. I don't know if I agree with that.
I learned that white people will do anything when they're bored. Now
Watch
we have
anything.
pickleball and disc golf, polo.
I will say to all the angry bettors, to your point, to all the angry bettors here, if there are angry bettors now who are betting on pickleball, you deserve to lose every fucking dime you have.
Or golf.
Or I guess golf, yeah.
What about cornhole? Would you bet on cornhole?
If, let's say...
That's more
it's-
fun to watch than
Let's say it's a
most.
Sunday night, and I'm down to my book, Action Aaron. And
Which you are, and it is.
I am, yeah. And I still have a little credit, that I could bet, that I could gamble to try to, maybe lessen the payment or, maybe get out scot-free. Maybe a little double or nothing action. And that's the only thing on the board, maybe.
Yeah, I say this as someone who once was doing so well on betting basketball unders that in the middle of the day I was betting. This is not a joke, Scott. Like, I know it's going to sound like he took A and B to make C, to make a funny C, like a little joke equation that I'm just doing. I was straight up at one point, because I was up. I would not do this down. Because I was up and I had money to play with, I was betting unders and winning on unders for women's Polish league basketball games in the middle of the day.
Been there, brother.
Live betting.
Not during the middle of the day, but late night. So
holy shit.
because we meet every Monday, right? So it's like before the clock hits midnight, I need to get me out of this hole. What's on the board right now? We got some tennis in Australia. We got some rugby maybe in New Zealand. All right. How about some baseball in Japan?
Yeah.
I can get down with that.
Yep. I was just like, Poland, women's basketball.
You do a quick
Under all
Google
day.
research. Be like, you talk yourself into it. You never win those bets. By the
No.
way. You always lose.
No.
You
Dude,
always
if you
lose
want to
those
win,
bets.
you got to bet on the quadriplegic that is a professional cornhole player. He fucking kills it.
Oh, okay.
He uses both of his little nubs
cornhole
to chuck it.
as
and
popular as darts now.
It's on ESPN, man.
It is that, and you know what else? It might be on Fox, but either way, it's nationally broadcast. Fucking axe throwing.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Don't like that one.
I never want to go to an axe throwing bar.
I went to one
It's
on
never a
on
good time.
on a hinge date. Had a blast.
It is fun. I'm
Yeah.
actually like weirdly good at it.
Dude, same. The guy that's like the safety.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you should come like compete sometime. And I was like, I really don't want to.
Nah.
I don't want
That's
to do it
kinda
more
weird,
than
man.
once. People
What?
that like join it as a hobby.
So what? That's a bit much.
I'm good after 15
I've done
minutes.
it. I've done it twice. Courtney took me there once on my birthday, like when we were dating early on,
I would have probably broken up with her. At
and
that
then I
point.
did it on a work. I did it on a work trip. Well, it's fun, but like if you're with a group, they make you do like a competition at the end, and I did very, very well. I won one and got second in the other, and I was like, this can't be difficult if I'm just like crushing it at
Yeah,
this. Like
yeah.
this is
I've never thrown an axe in my life.
Yeah,
And I
this-
was like hitting bullseye. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you can hit the little green circle in the top right. And I'm like, cool. I would nail it. And I'm like, all right.
it's yeah.
There are some sports that are just naturally easy. Lacrosse.
Yep.
Like lacrosse, I want to give my brothers in the Northeast a little credit, but I picked it up pretty quick.
And
You
also,
don't really
like,
have to be that athletic.
Is there
to play lacrosse.
is there an easier sport on earth to score in?
No.
Like, it's a goalie with no pads. You're whipping a pool ball at him, basically.
They're psychos.
Yeah, and like it's going so fast. It's going. The ball probably goes faster than a pitch, right? So it's going almost like tennis serve speed, like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah. Also, check it out. I played attack, which meant I just cherry picked the whole game.
Yeah.
I'm on offense permanently.
Yeah.
I don't
you're
have
up.
to go back and
You're
run.
up. Yeah, you don't have to run that much.
No.
Compared to the other people.
I catch
anyway.
and shoot.
Yeah. It's like if a good defensive like goaltending game, I imagine is like they only let in like 12.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go single digits
Okay.
occasionally.
Dude, lacrosse scares me because of my wrists. They hit the wrists a lot, and that's an owie.
You can wreck some people.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, they'll just stick fight their wrist, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
A lot of
not
hitting
into
of
that
the
sport.
hands.
I told Dan the other day, I was like, the main reason I want to raise my children in Texas is so that they never play lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's not a thing
It's a
here.
good dad.
Yeah.
It's a good dad. I went back to baseball after.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm good.
Played for like a year or two, and I was just like, yeah, I'm good.
I
get
almost
it.
got into it when I had a friend from Boston who's like, dude, lacrosse is the coolest thing. I'm like, yeah. And like, it's not.
Nah.
Same thing with rugby. I'm like, I don't care about this either. There's some cool hits. But
Yeah, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who played rugby. There are a lot of guys in my fraternity who played rugby, and like
I can't get into it.
they were like, "Do you want to come to the thing?" And I was like, "No."
My mom played rugby in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her wife do?
My dad played JUCO baseball.
That was really good.
Thank you.
I'm a product of a rugby player and a baseball player.
Okay.
Now you play disc golf.
Once. Yeah. No, I'm just really bad at golf. And I still got a sweet jumper though. I can beat a lot of people in basketball.
I think I told you this before, but if you hadn't destroyed your leg, you would have been tall enough to be a pitcher.
I would have been 6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be 6'4", Scott.
What the fuck?
I broke my tibia and fibula.
His tibia.
On purpose?
Yeah.
It's like binding Chinese ladies binding their feet.
Yeah.
He bound his legs.
Broke it at the growth plate when I was 16.
The growth. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a
So my
baseball
one
term.
leg's
Like,
actually
the growth plate. I was rounding the growth plate. I was like, what?
My one leg's shorter than my other leg, so I have to like overcompensate when I squat and do deadlifts and stuff. I have to like take a shoe off.
his,
my-
his bone shot out of his skin.
Oh yeah, so and I had brand new shoes on too, so I had
What?
to cut off the shoes. I was pissed about
Dude,
that.
my one of my left leg's longer than my right leg only because my hips are misplaced. I got hit so hard in
Shouts
football.
to fat ass John Jasper for breaking my leg.
See, that's how I know that you're bonded to my second child, Finn, because I just saw his bone the other day. So it's perfect. I saw his skull bone.
I wonder what he's up to. He like
Oh, you don't need
drastically
that.
changed my
Yeah.
life, and I have no idea where he is.
Your skull bone like does nothing besides like hold your head. Like everything
Yeah.
else like has a place.
Yeah, he smoked his head on our fireplace. He smoked his head on our fireplace and had a huge gash, and we took him in. And I was at one point when they're putting the stitches on, then they'd wiped away all the blood. I was like, "That's his skull."
What a fun time.
Yeah, I was like, "There it is."
No,
He's
I
gonna
connect
grow up
with
to
your
be a
child,
comedian.
Finn, because I also fell out of a window when I was like 2, and I like my lip kind of like hung off.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I kind of similar experience with the fireplace accident.
Yeah, perfect.
Who's Hitler today?
The guy with 3 names, Winken, Stinken, Minderd.
Part of me wants to say
The first guy that walked, not the guy that walked from New York to D.C., but the guy before him.
The British guy.
Yep, fuck that dude.
The 3 named guy was Edward Payson Weston, who's an American hero, and I won't have you tarnish his name.
Oh, never mind. Weston's cool.
I'll tell you who Hitler is.
Foster Powell, though, is who you're thinking of.
Foster, yeah, fuck that dude.
Big car.
Yeah, he took out our boy.
Big car took out our guy.
Took out Weston,
He
a
said,
cab
"Cars
driver.
make you a bitch," and then Big Car said, "Yeah, bitch," and hit him with a car.
I'm
Big
not a
car, big
conspiracy
taxi.
theorist, but
Big,
I have questions.
big automobile killed. Like Henry Ford had him killed.
Easily.
Yeah, Henry Ford is Hitler.
You don't have to talk me into it.
Yeah.
That's fact. In
And
my
since
mind.
Henry Ford also wasn't a fan of Jews, perfect.
It all adds up. Anyway, Scott,
Why-
thanks
why
for joining us last second.
Yeah, thanks
We
for having me.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
do
glad I was
appreciate
just sitting down.
Yeah, you were just here. We're gonna have you on again, but we figured we'd spread it up. But we were like, yeah, well, fuck it, why not?
yeah. If I'm here,
Appreciate
yeah, we'll do a show. Why not?
Where can the people find you?
Lastro Lopez on Instagram. That's all I do.
Follow that man.
See
And
my
his
cool
beautiful
hair
flow.
and my cool hat.
He's beautiful.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to grow the flow out. That's why I'm in hats right now. I'm in a
Are you
weird-
gonna like mullet it up or just flow it up?
I'm in a weird growth phase. I did mullet for a second, but it's going back to the flow. I'm just gonna flow it.
Well,
Yeah,
the good thing with
dope.
hats do a good job shaping it.
Because without the hat, it kind of looks like dog shit. I
Yeah.
just
Well, dude, and
look like a
weirdly
wet
enough,
dog.
when you wear that hat, it'll like poof up behind it and like kind of like
Yep.
curl
That's
towards
what
the
you
hat.
want. That's what
It's
you
a
want.
really cool thing. Yeah.
Get like a baseball cut or something. Anyway, Rob, you're always here. I'm always here. You people, you fine folks, if you're always here, we love you. If you're new to the program, please continue to listen. And find us on Patreon at patreon.com/softcore history, where you get 2 additional episodes every week. And you have, at this point, 2 years of a back catalog of evergreen content. It's well worth your $5 a month. And if you want to be a real gangster, a real G, leave a review on Apple and Spotify. 5 stars, please and thank you if you can. Write a review on Apple. It really helps us kind of move up the charts because that's all that matters. They manipulate
It
it.
is. It's not based on listens.
No.
The episode rankings, I think, are based on listens, but they're like essentially like podcast rankings are based on recent reviews.
Reviews and interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And YouTube. Softcore history on YouTube. Just
Search it.
search that. You'll find
You
it.
know how it goes.
And you'll see our beautiful faces. You'll see Scott's beautiful hair, my, growing out weird fizz, and Rob's just pasty skin.
I am beautiful. White is right. And fuck you.
And buy some merch.
Buy
Yeah.
some merch at
Yeah.
softcorehistory.com. Yeah, I
Click
gotta.
on the tab that says catalog because Jake, for some reason.
Man, we gotta pay the comptroller.
Yeah, it's
We
tomorrow.
forgot to do that. Yeah, we gotta do that.
We have to do it by tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay,
Not.
it's a good reminder though.
Yep. it
Thanks,
is.
Scott.
Yep.
I would have forgot that.
I always think of Topsy, the elephant.
Yeah, we have a Topsy the Elephant shirt. We got a couple good shirts in there. I'm gonna try to revamp the store and get some new merch in there within the next month. I think
Hell yeah.
we'll put a timeline on it.
That'll be sweet.
So yeah,
Looking forward to it.
thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And you just got soft served.